As we all know, it's a very important topic, the corona virus and also the impacts of the real estate market. So I think before I even step into this subject, I just want to do a disclaimer. Everything I say is just purely from my own analysis, what I see and what I have discovered and what I also anticipate. And also all these things can only happen because of the research done from the past. Okay, so these are based on past experience. Based on what? Past experience. It doesn't determine the future. But I think even the governments, they have to take lessons from the past to anticipate what's going to happen. Okay, so this is an important subject, and I think it's important for you to take notes if you need. If you want to speak to clients, you want to convert them, you want to explain to them, it's time for you to do so. So what are the impacts on the real estate market? So first and foremost, we need to know what is the impact of the coronavirus first. Okay, so how deadly is the coronavirus as of today? Okay, basically, why is it so dangerous is because there's very limited medication to it at the moment. Okay, so very limited. So what is the how deadly is it? So based on statistics, okay, this is going to show you today. Based on this morning, I've checked. This is worldwide cases. We have 40 over 1,000 based on what their countries have declared. Okay, so this is all what we see in the news. And the deaths of 900 over people with a fatality rate of 2.2%. So what is important now? Our governments are monitoring a few statistics. First, how fast it spreads. Okay, how fast it spreads. Second, how deadly is it? So these are the two very important indicators that the government is watching every single day. Okay, so how fast it spreads and also what is the fatality rate. So this is an article from Business Time. I almost must say the source. Okay, based on 31st of January, which is just 10 days ago, it was actually 11,000. Okay, of course today they say it's 40,000. But all these kind of statistics, you have to take it as a pinch of salt. Why? We do not know how fast their countries release information. Maybe it's already there, but they haven't declared yet. Okay, so we are still at a very, very premature stage on how fast it actually spread. Maybe it's less than that, maybe it's more than that, we don't know. Okay, but we are monitoring very, very closely, on how fast it's going to spread. But based on statistics, seems that it's fast. Okay, based on statistics, it's fast. But also you have to compare. Okay, what happened that was actually impacted Singapore was in year 2002 end to around 2003, which is this epidemic called what? SARS. Okay, so that was one of the major impacts in Singapore. That was 2003. That was 17 years ago. Okay, how old were we then? Very young, 17 years ago. Maybe we didn't we don't have kids yet. We are not married yet, so probably it didn't really bother us. But today things are different. Now look at the death rate for SARS. So in the world, there are 8,000 cases with 700 over death, which means the death rate is approximately how many percent? 10%, right? Approximately 10%. So out of 10, 1 will be the fatality rate. So it's considered pretty much on the slightly higher side. So that's why SARS had an impact in Singapore and in Asia itself. Okay, that was around 10%. Then Singaporeans also what we call very 健忘, forgetful. In 2009, there was also an epidemic, which is also DORSCON orange. 2009. You all can remember or not? Cannot, right? See, you all cannot remember. You only remember how much commission you make, how many cups you want to bring home, which country you go, where to buy cheap air tickets. You all forget this one. H1N1 virus. Okay, H1N1 virus in 2009 has affected 700 million people worldwide. H1N1. Okay, but of course it has a low death rate, but it's still very significant. It's 200 over 1,000 deaths based on a 0.2% death rate. Okay, so that was what happened in 2009. And can you all even remember? Cannot remember, right? So Singaporeans very fast, they forget. They remember very early and they will forget very fast. Okay, so those called orange only happened when? When did it happen? Friday. So now it's like 3 days. Definitely we still remember. If you all forget, I think you are good. 3 days ago, definitely today it's an impact to us. Okay, so moving forward, okay, there are also other viruses, but I think it doesn't really affect Asia. So if you look at the fatality rate, this virus today is approximately 2.2% worldwide based on what is reported. So you can see the seriousness of it. If it hits 10%, then we're going to look at something different. Okay, but of course, we have surpassed H1N1's period of 0.2%. So this is how you know and anticipate the seriousness of where this thing is heading. Clear so far? So you have to be prepared for what is coming ahead. You can also see previously things like, for example, Ebola. This was in Africa. You take a look at the death rates. They were like, how many percent? 40%. But at the different times, there were different medical facilities. There are different medications. Okay, for this era, and especially in Africa, they don't have such medical supplies. Okay, so medical is also very important to actually help lower this fatality rate. Okay, so H1N1 actually got vaccines to it. So I'm going to touch a little bit on that. Okay, so take note. Okay, what the government is monitoring is the fatality rate. Now, 2003 SARS period, for those, most of you have not experienced it. Based on research, it was only discovered, okay, in December 2002 overseas, okay, in Hong Kong. And in Singapore, it only started around February. And how long did it last? February, March, April, May, June. Approximately 5 months. By July, everything resumed back to normal already. That was just that 5-6 months in 2003. Okay, it was an impact then. 6 months of impact. So what happened during the 2003? Okay, there was 238 cases of SARS. 238. Today, what is the corona? How many? 43. So you must understand where are we. And the death rate then was 33 fatality, which brings the fatality rate to around 14% in Singapore. This is in Singapore. How many deaths do we have in corona as of today? 0. As of now, 0. Hopefully it stays this way. It's still 0. And what was the impact of SARS then? Okay, mainly these were the things that were affected. Okay, in 2003, visitor arrivals were affected, dropping by 67%. So you see a lot of tourists and a lot of people into Singapore has dropped by 67%. Okay, and major markets registered double-digit falls. Japan dropped 75%, Malaysia 72%, China 64%, Indonesia 61%. So these are all visitor arrivals. Okay, and the outbreak of SARS has resulted in cancellation and postponing of a number of cruise ship calls, cruise ships, tourism, conventions, exhibitions. Okay, so this was a big hit for visitors then. Okay, similarly, I think today Singapore has actually put in a lot of measures, right? They actually stop, people from coming in at a very, very early stage. You can see during SARS, just let you know, the government wasn't prepared, and no one was prepared. Okay, it came as a shock. Okay, but this time round, for this particular virus, we already anticipated what's going to happen, okay, and they already taken precaution very early. Like example, those called orange. With people affected, 30 over to 40, they already call it orange already. But by right, they just want to make it early so that every one of us has the top of awareness to actually prevent more from happening. So visitor arrivals dropped. So what did it affect? It affected hotel, what? Occupancy, right or not? Sylvia, can buy cheap ticket. So the average hotel occupancy rate had fallen to 20 to 30% in April. 20 to 30% means what? Only 20 to 30% are filled. It dropped by 70 to 80%. That's the meaning of occupancy rate. That means only 20% of people are staying in hotels only. By right, Singapore hotels are today around 90%. So hotels are seriously affected during the SARS period. Okay? Even non-SARS period, their occupancy rate that time was like 75 to around 74%. So hotels reported occupancy rates, some even as low as 10%. Okay, so hotel business are very much affected. Okay, where you can spot opportunities depends on how you look at it. Okay, so this is just things that happened in the past. And this was the hotel's occupancy rate chart. You can take a look. What happened in 2003? The occupancy rate for hotels dropped, and then what happened after that? Within how many months? February, April, May, 3 months, it came back to the same again. So it took how many months? 3 months. Okay, this is what affected hotels. Okay, so our DORSCON is only 3 days. Okay, so you need to anticipate and to see what's going to happen. So hotel rates will be all-time low. So really, if you need a villa, it's a very good time to book. Maybe 90% off. Really, 90% off already. So this happened in 2003. And what are the other things that were affected? Okay, retail sales was affected. It has fallen 10 to 50% for retail. Okay, so retail has been affected by 10 to 50%. So for those who are in the retail market, there was a very sharp drop, especially for the human traffic. So all your landlords or tenants today at this kind of retails, they might be in anticipation for this. So you might have people looking to break lease. Okay, you might have people looking to have handovers, assignments. So please be prepared for all this. So tenants will be very much affected by this. Revenues at restaurants have drawn and dropped down by as much as 50%. Okay, so restaurants have also been very much affected, especially shopping areas. Orchard, now you want to go shopping, nobody wants. Okay, because why? It affects retail. Okay, it affects retail. Okay, but something very surprisingly, guys, these are all researched by the papers, not me. So sales of discretionary items, example, apparel also suffered, whereas, this is very interesting, whereas basic necessity like food are holding out. So that time there wasn't this panic also. During that time in SARS, there wasn't this panic at the NTUC or Sheng Siong like what is happening today. Okay, during that time there wasn't this panic. Okay, so all these are what was happening. And of course, travel, okay, affected by 70%. So they have cancelled all their, NATA's fair and everything, if you have noticed. So 70% travel has been affected. But don't go too far, later cannot come back. Later you go there, then they don't let you come back. They've been quarantined there for 1 month. Okay, so 70%. And those are, of course, in the transportation business like taxis and Grabs, their income actually dropped by quite a fair bit, 20 to 30% during that. Average bookings, people just don't go out already, 28,000 to around 18,000 for 1 or 2 months. 1 month after that, it recovered. So you can see the recovery is actually very fast. Around 1 month, it recovered already. Okay, for this kind of businesses, 1 month only. Okay, so this is what happened in the stock market. Just to share with you, this red portion is all the SARS cases discovered. Okay, all these red portions were all when SARS was discovered. And how did it affect the stock market then? At the exact same period, stock markets around the world has dropped probably by between 5 to 20%. Okay, stock market from January to around when? I think this part they start to recover already. March. January to March, how many months? Around 2 to 3 months only. Okay, so these are windows of opportunities for you to take a look. 2 months to 3 months, things start to recover. And it's only through this crisis that there will be opportunities. All these years are very smooth sailing, true or not? Very, very smooth. Very smooth means slow, moderate growth. Moderate growth every year, 2-3%, 2-3%. Okay, when these kind of things happen, I'm going to show you later where are the opportunities. Okay, so this is what happened when you spot, I'm going to do one back. When you spot cases, when there's a lot of cases being spotted, the stock market will be hit. Very simple as that. Okay, when there's more cases, stock market will be hit. But this time around a bit different. Who's in stocks now? How come this time around the stock market go up? It went down by like 3 days and then it went back up already. Also a bit different. I think people are getting more and more educated. True or not? They know, they also know all this. So they are willing to hold out longer. Okay, people are getting more and more educated. Okay, so this is a chart to combine the how stock markets fare versus the cases. Okay, so you can see when there's a spike of cases, it will affect the stock market, but it doesn't affect them very long. Okay, this is all about mood, M-O-O-D, mood, because usually your clients would have monies in the stock market. So every day they're watching, wow, 行情好，行情派 is all from here only. Okay, when they make money from stock market, they feel confident. They don't make money, they lose confidence. So this is something very important for you to know. The stock market probably lasted down for around 2 months, right? March to around April. 2 months only. 2 months window for you to spot opportunity, okay? 2 months only. Then of course you want to know what happened to the property market. Okay, we have been through certain crises. This is a 20-year chart. Just to show you, during the dot-com bubble, we had 15 quarters of decline. 15 quarters means how long? How many years? Around 4 years, plus minus 3 to 4 years. Dot-com. Dot-com means what? Bubbles burst, businesses go down, people get unemployed. And then this decline affected real estate for around up to 19.6%. Okay, SARS, how many quarters? 2 quarters only. Okay, by right, it's only 3 months only, but the impact of it is 2 quarters. 2 quarters. And then after that, nothing much happened until the global financial crisis, which hits overnight. All our option to purchase, nobody exercised. Here I was in the market really. Okay, why we always educate agents to close their deal at midnight. Don't wait until tomorrow morning 8 a.m. Okay, this gave me very, very significant impact because I was in the market. Imagine I closed a deal, I remember Blossomville, 1.3 million, closed already. Very happy. Meet the owner tomorrow to sign option to purchase. Yeah, confirm already. Took the check already. Okay, but I kekang. So tomorrow go and sign option to purchase. I sleep, I wake up, Lehman Brothers collapse. Buyer already message to draw out already. Just overnight only. So that's why I say when you close deals, especially in today's market, if you can close it the day itself, if you can do it the day itself, do it the day itself. Don't wait until the next day. Past midnight or don't want. Okay, everything, even if it's 11:30 p.m., please go for the deal. Okay, don't wait until the next morning. Okay, so it impacted very hard. It dropped for how many quarters? 4 quarters. Means how many years? 1 year. Okay, property prices were affected by approximately 24.9%, which is very significant, right? Not? SARS, you all can see not? Don't know, right? Later I show you, okay? Later I'll zoom into this part. So crisis was 24%. After it recovered, and then up to 2013, government said, wow, bertahan. This one, the property market going up too fast already, right? So property market is doing very well. They came up with 9 cooling measures. How many? 9. Measures after measures after measures. I believe most of you are already in the market. Heartbeat fast or not? Wow, every time, I remember I was having a dinner at a restaurant at 6 p.m. Then suddenly, 6:30 there's news. Wow, we cannot eat dinner already. Must be at show flat. I think there was one night, the whole show flat in Singapore was flooded with agent, right? Not? When was that? There was a change in one policy. Which one? Is it the LTV? The 3 to 4% stamp duties, right? Wow, you see agents wear shorts, go down and close deal at show flat. Ladies all no makeup one, right? You all laugh. Really, close until morning 6 a.m. 6 a.m. So we must always be prepared. what's happening. So 9 rounds of cooling measure, but it only brought the real estate market down by 11.6% over 15 quarters. Okay, why do I pull this out? I just want to show you the impact or possible impact on where this current situation is going. You will see if you compare to all this, right, it's not going to be that hard. Okay, it's not going to be that hard. So let me zoom into this part, which is year 2003. Yeah? So I zoom in a bit. So what happened in that particular, 2 quarters? SARS was actually only 2 quarters. Okay, from February to around June to July. 4-5 months plus minus. But there were lingering effects from these 2 quarters plus another 3 quarters, total 5 quarters. Property prices dropped by how many percent? How many percent? 2.3%. Okay? 2 quarters of epidemic, 3 quarters of people trying to recover, because there's always a recovery period. We are not sure where this coronavirus will be. If it's 2 quarters, there will be 3 quarters of recovery. If it's 6 quarters, how many quarters of recovery you think? Humans are the same. Recovery approximately 3 quarters. The recovery. Human psychology is like that. So what we're trying to say is that based on what is going to happen, whenever the epidemic ends, it will take probably 2 to 3 quarters for things to recover strong. Okay, and this is the real bottom of the bottom. If you want to get the bottom, right, a lot of investors want the bottom, that is where you have to enter the market really. Okay, so 2 quarters of epidemic, 3 quarters of recovery, which makes it total of 5 quarters of decline to 2.3%. This is the lowest point for the past 20 years, that time. Okay, this was at its lowest point. So from here, what does it mean? For us, we are not very keen about price. Price drop up, down, I think 2% is not very significant. True or not? It's not very significant. What is significant to us is this. In 2013 first quarter, where SARS was discovered, there was a knee-jerk reaction. You know what's knee-jerk? Like that. You all go and buy all your toilet paper, right? It's called a knee-jerk reaction. You see doctor, they knock the knee, right? Then your leg will kick. This is a natural response by our body, right? Whenever there's an epidemic, dogs gone orange, we have a knee-jerk reaction. Okay, so all markets will have a knee-jerk reaction. Very natural, okay, it's natural. So with the knee-jerk reaction, transaction volume fell by 40.8%. Means if you are closing 10 deals, you'll be closing like 6 deals instead. So transactions drop, but there's still transactions, true or not? True, there's still transactions out there. Then today, I believe some of you are facing postpone of appointments have, cancellations also have. Not to worry, these are all knee-jerk reactions. We just have to understand how psychology goes, okay? Today, ladies and gentlemen, just to let you know, we are not fighting a virus war. We are fighting a psychological war. Things haven't happened yet, but we already start to be aware. So this is what the government is trying to address. They're not, of course, we try to solve whatever is happening, but it's the human being that we need to solve also. So before the virus attack us, we attack ourselves already. So that's what the government doesn't want to see. Okay, so with the knee-jerk reaction, transactions dropped for 1 quarter, January to March. Then after that, it went up by how many percent? 47.4%. So if you look at it, what's the impact? So if you were at this stage, what will happen? Sit down with your friends at coffee shop and tell each other what? 哇，行情派啦。viewing no problem. You talk for 3 months. But you must be prepared also, okay? Because it will come back strong. You have to be prepared, right? Because this is all statistics. You can't go wrong. And it's only one quarter only. After that, any other lingering effects? Not much. It's just that one quarter to 2 quarters only. Okay, so this is an important statistic that I just want to prepare you guys for. Maybe it happened, maybe it won't, I don't know, but this is what happened in year 2003. Yeah? So this highlighted part is the SARS period. Okay, so then I also zoom in again. Take note, during the 5 quarters of decline, 2.3%. After that, private property prices raised by how many percent? How many percent? How many percent? 58%, ladies and gentlemen, not 5.8%. 58% increase after an epidemic. The epidemic was 2 quarters. After that, another 3 quarters here. Then things start to go up already. So for those who have bought properties just after the SARS period, just after, and holding it for 4.5 years, if you bought at 1 million, you can sell at 1.58 million. These are opportunities that you need to wait for. So please be very prepared for yourself, for your clients. If they want to enter the market, there will be an epidemic end, okay? When it ends, you wait for another 1 quarter, then about 2 quarters, you can enter the market really. Okay, this is how you actually invest in property. So it's 5.8%, sorry, it's 5.8, it's 58%, a lot, no? It's a lot. This is where opportunities are. So prepare for the recovery of opportunities. Today is only day 3. I know, everybody is fearful. There's a lot of things that we don't know what's going to happen. But I know we will definitely tide over because statistics show whatever epidemic happened, it's all short-lived. Okay, it's not like it's going to be 10 years down the road. Okay, so 2 to 5 quarters, things will end already. And then I also a bit curious. So that one private property ma. What about the HDB market? What about the HDB market? Then I went in and zoom in. Then I do statistics. I say, how can this be? During SARS period, HDB increased by 7.2%. How can that be? From 2003, first quarter, to around 2003, fourth quarter, 1 year, increased by 7.2%. That was like, can't be. It's like, this is an epidemic. How can it not affect? I went to do research and I found out what happened. Okay, so just let you know, in January 2003, because there's SARS, government also want to help Singaporeans. What did government do? They changed this, ladies and gentlemen. The MOP used to be how many years? How many years MOP now? 5 years. But in January 2003, they tweaked the MOP. From 5 years to 1 year if you are using bank loan. Wow, sweet, right? You always remember the times, 1 year MOP. But if you take a HDB loan, the MOP is 2.5 years. That was when the government started to tweak. But what does it mean to us? Okay, why did I feel that it's important to show you? It's important for me to show you because I want to let you know the government will have a hand in real estate if anything happens. They will come and do something to it. Okay, because we are living in a very controlled environment. If things get worse, they will tussle. So this increase didn't, portray what happened to the market. It portrayed what happened when a government tweaked their policies. Okay, so there was an increase. At that time, investors, private property investors, went to buy HDB. Because they are all, they understand opportunity. They see, got such opportunity. I buy using a bank loan. 1 year MOP means what? I buy whatever, Holland Village, 200, that time my client bought, 260,000 cash. Okay? So my client said, Alex, I want to buy a HDB. I said, why? Because cheap, ma. Okay? I helped my client bought a Holland Village HDB 3-room flat without viewing because it's very hot. Everybody wanted. So I went And I asked the agent for viewing. The agent said no viewing. So what do? I try and see the house, from the window. I see whether good or not. Because my client asked me, Alex, you decide lah. If you think the house is good, buy lor. It's 260,000 only. You decide for me lor. I said, I decide for you. I at the time was like quite a new agent. It's like, I decide for you. Okay. So I went, I see, can buy lor. So they bought. Okay, so it may also happen like that during 2003. Okay, they bought, they invested 1 year, they leave it vacant. After that, they can what? Rent it out already. They can sell it. So investors win. But today, can private property owners buy HDB? Cannot. So cannot. So there are rules to it. So that's why it fueled prices that went up. And there was also more downgrading from private property to the HDB market. So whenever there's a crisis, people don't dare to overspend, right? They want to spend lesser. They would probably buy all the suburban condos or maybe downgrade to the HDB market. So whenever there's crisis, this is going to happen. This is just to show you that whenever there's a crisis, government will step in to do something. So what did the government do now? You all know or not? Never mind, later I'm going to show you. So just to show you, HDB, after the 7.2% increase, after that, it continued to increase for 17 quarters at 33.8% HDB. Okay, but this increase is still slightly lower than the private property, right? If you look at private property, how many percent you remember now? 58%. HDB, 33.8%. But I don't think now HDB can achieve this. I really don't think so with all the measures, honestly. But this is just to let you know that have confidence, it will not, go until like nothing. Okay, so this is the price recovery for HDB prices. And then this is the recent news. You all saw this news? It's the QC. When did this news come out? It came out, where's my date? 6th of February. That's why I told you the government would put a hand in it, just to make things happy. So they actually announced that there's a QC scheme exemption for listed Singapore developers. Okay, what does this mean? Okay, just to share with you, okay, that all developers have to sell their new project within 5 years on the day they buy. If not, they cannot do a remission of the 25 to 30% ABSD. Okay, one more time. So every developer got to sell within how many years? 5 years. Okay, if they don't sell, they're going to pay extra ABSD based on the time they bought. So it's between 25 to 30%. This is the ABSD. And then after these 5 years, if they still cannot sell, the QC kicks in. On the 6th year, they cannot sell, what's going to happen? If you don't sell, you will be taxed additional, how many percent? 8%. And then second year still don't sell, 16. Then still don't sell, 24%. Okay, so this was the previous scheme. So today, the government has taken away the 8, 16, 24. But they still need to comply with this, ladies and gentlemen. Still must pay the 5 years ABSD tax. It still remains. Okay, what does this mean? These are usually for what kind of projects today? They are for projects that have already TOP, right? To get this kick in. So these are for the TOP projects that have balanced units. Government has relaxed a bit and give them more time to sell. So remember how we're going to advise our client. It's not fire sale coming, discount, property market going to go up. No. Okay, these are just things that happen. And usually these places will be in your core central regions. Because usually suburban one before TOP already sold. So these are for TOP projects. You will not see prices dip because with immediate effect, they don't have to pay any more tax already. So for the TOP projects, prices will hold. You will not see very high commission and then urgent sales. No. Okay? But for the first 5 years, it still applies. Clear so far? Anyone got a question for this? Date of purchase, they never indicate, but they already said with immediate effect, no more QC regime. 25% and 30% ABSD is based on the purchase price of the GLS, the land purchase cost. If they buy it for 200 million, 30% will be 60 million. Okay? Even one unit not sold, yes. So the pressure for 5 years is still there. So in terms of project commissions, still okay. You will still get your 2, 3, 4%. Because if they remove this ABSD, ladies and gentlemen, all your commission drop already. It will drop to like 1, 1.5, maybe 0.8, because they're not urgent to sell. So all these policies are important, and it helps us make the dollars, true or not? Okay, so this is how it will affect our business, okay, especially for projects. Any more question for this? Okay, so it's not going to like free fall. Okay, so this is going to protect prices. This article, in summary, shows you government will do something. Okay, if the property market continues to decline, they will tweak. We got 9 cooling measures, right or not? We can unwind 9, right or not? Last time during the times I joined, you know how much was a down payment for property in, let's say, 10 years ago? 10%. Then after that, it became 20%. And then it became today 25%. If market is no good, maybe, I don't know, they may retract back. We're all not sure. But when they do it, I'm sure if you are still there, one la kopi beside your friend Hang Cheng Pa, you sure won't get opportunity. You have to be the one on standby for things to happen. You must be on standby, okay? Overall, what happened was, I just want to share with you that the bulls usually outperform the bears. You all know what's the bulls? Bulls means what? Go up. Bear means what? Go down. So no matter how you look and no matter how I flip this chart, left, right, up, down, center, upside down, right? No matter how I flip, you will have 15 quarters of down, 19.6%. After that, you have 17 quarters of up, 58%. You have a crisis again, down 24%, 4 quarters, and then you increase again, another 62% after a crisis. Every time after a crisis, you make a lot of money. After the crisis, not during the crisis. After. Okay, after the crisis, so you have to be prepared. And also, even with no crisis, the government tried to have crisis. 9 cooling measures, but still not enough. There's still 13 quarters of increase, more than the cooling measures, 12.3%. Also, this clearly states whatever happens to the property market will always get what? Higher. It only gets higher and higher. So if you understand and if you look through what is happening, whether is it today, tomorrow, or with 1 month later, 1 year later, these statistics won't lie. They won't lie. You have to be prepared. You have to prepare your clients for that. So you see SARS period, how is it compared? 2.3% compared to the rest of the crisis and opportunities. Quite negligible, right now. So don't worry so much. If your client don't want to view, you say never mind, you view next month. Understand or not? Don't worry so much. Okay, it's just a knee-jerk reaction only. Okay, so things will continue to what? Improve after every crisis. So some of you might have forgotten, there's actually the H1N1 virus in 2009, which is from May to August. How many months? May, June, July, August. Also 4 months. So you see, an epidemic, how long usually it lasts? They're about 4 months, 5 months. So this ended because there were vaccines in place. And just to let you know, real statistic, ladies and gentlemen, in Singapore, H1N1 virus affected 415 people. You also never 眨眼. H1N1 in Singapore affected 415,000 people affected. But it's not that serious. Only 1,348 people were hospitalized. I can use only, no? Can, right? Then today, corona, how many? 43. Oh, you all now buy toilet paper. Here also never buy. Also don't know what's happening, right? No? 415. But this strain was actually a influenza strain. Okay, so anyway, the death rate was pretty low based on 415. There were death rates of 18, and fatality is 0.1%. Okay, so that's why maybe people are not that, aware. All these are all taken out from the past papers. 2009. You all very 健忘 ah. Okay, then you all can 忘记 today, no? Corona, just forget it. You will recover. Huh? Drink more Corona beer. Okay, so this was a chart by one of the public studies. Okay, just in summary, this was actually the SARS versus the H1N1. So SARS was in 2003, and then H1N1 was in 2009. Okay, SARS was part of the corona. H1N1 is just another influenza. Origin for SARS was in Hong Kong, and origin for H1N1 is from the US side. Okay, from the US side. And then in Singapore, SARS had 238 cases with 33 deaths, 14%, which is pretty high. And of course, the H1N1, based on hospitalized, is 1,003, yeah? But 400 over 1,000 people got the virus. Okay, so based on hospitalized, it was 1.3%. So this is the direct comparison for these two. And of course, based on medical, why was SARS scary is because the medical treatment was very limited for SARS. But for the H1N1, there were actually available vaccines today as well. So you all can actually have vaccines for that. So compared to corona, this is where we stand. You all decide for yourself. Okay, this is news by Singapore. Okay, news by Singapore. How fast it will grow, we also don't know. Or just monitor. Okay, so this is how I monitor the seriousness of an epidemic. Okay, this is just how you measure. Okay, so this is just a comparison. Next, this is the stock markets, just to show you what happens after 6 months of an epidemic. After 6 months. AIDS, I think until today also have lah. SARS, after 6 months, stock rallied by how many percent? 21%. 6 months only, 6 months stocks. If you look at whatever swine flu, down here, after 6 months, stock rallied by 39.9%. All these are after epidemics. If you look at everything else, I think more or less not bad, right? So if you have bought during all these periods, just hold a while, you will make some good money. Okay, and this will translate into confidence for the clients to buy property. So that's why we're always looking at the stock markets as a reference. Okay, as a reference. I'm not asking you to buy. You all got money, buy property. Okay, because 20%. Okay, let's put it in perspective. 40% of 100,000 is how much? If you put 100,000 to the stock market, 40% means how much? 40,000. Okay. If you put the money in a property that's 1 million, 58% means how much? 580,000 profit. Okay, so what I'm trying to tell you is that buy property. Don't buy stocks so much. So these are some of the lessons from the past. First, the outbreak of the SARS has actually created a lot of public anxiety, same like now. This is what is happening. And taken a heavy toll on businesses. Okay, businesses are definitely affected. Tourism is also affected. Hotel, restaurants, retail, airline, cruise, travel, taxis, so on and so forth. Impact on stocks were material, between 5 to 15%, but short-lived. Okay, the time period is very, very short only. Okay, between 3 months to 5 months. And then there were also lower transactions due to the knee-jerk reaction. Okay, lower transactions for at least 1 quarter. It has very limited impact on private property prices, which is only like 2.3% on average. Of course, Price recovered for HDB, but still slightly slower than private property. Prepare for private property recovery opportunity. Must be prepared. Really, all your money today, please go and keep, seal it tight. Wait for opportunity, it will come. Trust me. All video down one. Okay, Lastly, the bulls usually outperform the bears long term. So if you're a long-term investor, sink in your money, 5 years, 6 years, 8 years down the road, you will definitely make a profit. Okay, so these are the lessons from the past. Will it determine the future? I don't know. Okay, but this is the past. This is how it affects the real estate market. But you all want to know how it affects the agent market, not? This is real estate market, right? We talk about stock market, we talk about property market. You want to know the agent market, not? You want to learn, not? You want to know the secret, not? Of how it affects the agents. Sure? Okay. What's this word? 危机. Of course, today, please don't go and shout out 危机. Today, people is at the way. You tell them 机, they will tell you what? You don't seize opportunity. Don't take my mask and sell, 100 times. Don't exploit the situation. Okay, don't exploit it. But in all honesty, there will be, opportunity. Let me share with you a story. You want to hear a story? This story is very interesting. And I think it's very useful to use it today, especially in today's context. So I'm going to share with you a story. Long ago, there was this hot dog vendor selling hot dog buns. Okay, hot dog buns. So every morning, he will push his trolley, his uncle. He will push his trolley, together with his hot dog machine and all his buns, and then he will sell this, nearby a school. So he's repeating this day in, day out. And then he's able to make so much money that he can actually help bring up a kid, his son, to actually study overseas. So he's working very, very hard from morning, wake up, 8 a.m. until all the way midnight to sell hot dog buns. So that he can make enough money to send his son to school overseas. So he worked very hard, sent his son overseas, and his son went overseas, very smart kid. So his son went to learn what? Investment and finance in the US. So he went there to learn. So as a parent, you send your kids overseas, they went there to learn. Suddenly, during this period, the son made a call to the dad and told the dad, hey, I heard there was going to be a crisis coming. Might be have a financial crisis is coming. Probably a recession. So he called the dad. And then what would the dad do? If you're the dad, what will you do? What will you do if you're the dad? Say, wow, my son, study so hard, so smart, go overseas, study investment markets. Now tell me, Hang Cheng going to be quite pie, And then the son advised the dad to what? Maybe just cut down a little bit on your expense lah. So then the dad said, yeah, maybe my son is right. So what he do? So next morning he wake up, he went to buy lesser hot dogs. So usually the store, his store will be filled up with hot dogs and buns. And that's what a lot of people will buy. So then the next day he went out. He bought lesser hot dogs and he bought lesser buns. So his store, right, suddenly from a lot of buns, a lot of hot dog, now like left like 1/3. Because the son say must cut costs. Sure not? So he has lesser hot dogs on display, he had lesser buns on display. And then with that, you think you have more business or less business? Why? Not enough maybe, and not attractive Must have, a lot of people queue up, then I will buy. Then suddenly business start to what? Get what? Poorer. Then the dad call the son. Hey, son, true. Hang Cheng Cheng Pai liao. Si bei jialat. Now, last time I got 100 people, now only got 30 people buy my hot dog bun. They say, Then the son said, that's why I told you, must cut some more. Cannot like that. No, business is very bad. The crisis is going to come already. Okay. So the next day, he woke up, he went to buy a cheaper quality bread and hot dog. Cheaper. Then he starts selling again. So you think people will buy? They buy, maybe they won't come back again, right now. Because Singaporeans are all very smart one. They won't buy if it's lousy. And then he called the son again. Hey, yeah, my business now dropped 80% already. You are right. You are definitely right. Okay, business is not good now. Then what happened? By right, he sell until midnight, You know what, during the night, you have to make your store very nice, true or not? So you must have a lot of neon lights. So last time he had a lot of neon lights. Wow, hot dog for sale, a lot of neon light bulbs everywhere. So then, because of that, he has to cut his electricity, true or not? Must cut loss. Don't spend so much. So he cut his electricity. So at night, what will his store look like? So, cannot see anything. Very dark, true or not? Will people be aware of his business? No. Will people go and buy his hot dog? No. Then what's going to happen? Business gets worse and worse. And then the son came back from overseas. Then he sat down again. Then what did dad tell the son? You are absolutely right. Business is terrible. I'm very happy to have listened to you. Now, I really think I should just cut everything. Then the next day, what time you think the father will wake up and set up business? No, relax. He won't wake up at 8 a.m. already because Hang Cheng Pai ma. So he wake up what time? 12 p.m. Anyway, there's no business. Wake up at 12 p.m. Set up the store again. Have their little bit of buns. Low quality hot dog. Over and over again. Finally, until the day he has to do what? Close shop. Now, what's the moral of the story? Don't sell hot dog bun. Don't trust your son. Wow, besai lah. Yeah. So what's the moral of this story? The epidemic haven't happened yet. No. You already panic until So don't be too smart, right or not? I don't know. Kiang Jiu Ho, I don't know. You can draw your own conclusion. But this story actually impacted me a lot. Because it shows me something. What consumes your mind controls your life. What consumes your mind controls your life. Everything that you hear, everything that you listen, everything that you do all starts from a belief. When you believe business is bad, you will wake up later. True? If you believe business is bad, you will tell yourself, I won't be calling my clients already. True? When business is bad or people tell you it's bad, you will not throw so much mailers. True or not? This is what is happening. So only those, when these kind of things happen, if you're the hot dog seller, do you know how you will succeed? Just do whatever you're doing and no change. And the rest of your competitors will be consumed by all this information. And then they will start cutting less. So sometimes we really need to look back. I'm not asking you to do extra. I'm just asking you to stay very focused, to do what you're supposed to do. So I really believe, whatever consumes your mind controls your life. True or not? So if you believe things will be good, it'll be good. If it's bad, it's bad. And it's my job and my duty and your duty, to go and reach out to them. Really, go out, continue what you are doing, of course with precaution. I'm not asking you to go and hug people, go and kiss. No, right or not? Go out, still do your things. Maybe you can give them an air hug or air high five. No problem. Go out with precautions. So I just want to let you know, it's still business as usual. As of today, of course, with precautions. Take the necessary precautions. Take care of yourself. Take care of your health. If you needed to wear a mask to meet a client or to go for a viewing, please do so. Please be responsible for yourself and your clients. So end of the day, I just want to end with this. A positive mind finds opportunity in everything. A positive mind finds opportunity in everything. So everything, definitely there's a point whereby you can do something. So I really hope all of you stay very focused in your business. If you think you're really overwhelmed by the consume of your son telling you the market is bad, you don't want to open your hot dog store, let me know. I will sit down with you and help you unwind some opportunities for yourself. And I think with that, I'd like to end my session. And thank you so much for the time, and you'll receive all these videos very soon. Thank you.